Well, it's because I had nothing to lose, right?
Oh.
So she was never going to speak to me again. So I was like, why am I going to put on a front? Why am I going to hide? The first question she asked me, she was like, why are you single?
What's up, familia? We're back on another episode of Girl, Let Me Tell You. I'm Ivana Rojas.
I'm your legendary comedian, Glorelis Mora. And girl, let me tell you.
What's up?
So our third co-host couldn't be here today because she's dealing with a family matter.
Yes.
So we want to send all of our love and compassion to Jessica Flores. We love you.
We love you, Jessica.
I sent her a virtual hug on text message, iMessage, so I'm hugging her. And I want to know, Ivana, how do you deal with grief in your life? It could be like someone passed away, or like maybe an opportunity that you didn't get, or maybe a friendship breakup.
I think that a lot of it, like I had my own time and I cry by myself and just like feel the pain of missing somebody. I don't really like go and like distract myself. I just like try to release all the sadness. You know what I mean?
I feel like for me, it comes in like random waves. Like I like experience it. I'll process it later. So like my grandfather passed away maybe like 2 years ago, and I got to see him before he passed away. My only regret is that I don't really have any good pictures with him because it was when like Snapchat was around. So like I have pictures with him in the dog filter. Like those are my memories with my grandfather. But sometimes like like Apple, they'll like make these like folders and remind you of like something like randomly. Like you'll be having a good day and then they show you your grandfather.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
Apple, relax. But I'm still processing it, and I'm just hoping that he's in a good place. And when I go back to DR, like we have his rocking chair, like it's still there, so it's nice. And just changing the topic, I'm a Gemini, all over the place. We were talking a little bit before we started recording about first impressions.
Oh yes, I asked her what her first impression of me was.
Yeah, and I feel like when I first met you, Ivana, I guess I was scared. Like when you see like a really beautiful woman, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's not gonna like me. She's probably like so into herself.
Damn.
We said we were gonna wait for the cameras. What did you think about me? But you're not into yourself? You're fucking
No. I thought about you. I thought you were really funny and like a strong Dominican woman, and I was intimidated.
Really?
I mean, not like that much, like, but I was feeling like, oh damn, this is like a strong, beautiful Dominican woman who's gonna tell me what is up.
Oh, I mean, I do tell everybody what's up.
Yeah, all the time.
But you said I was doing better. I'm assimilating to the LA culture.
What I have noticed is that like you've really surrendered to this new environment, being in LA. You have really like New York life at the beginning, and now you're kind of like going with the flow, not
a little bit,
not judging, not like
I was never judging.
No, but never judging or anything. I just feel like we're getting to know each other on a beautiful level.
I'm opening up. It takes sometimes it takes time to open up. We were talking about the last episode. We didn't love bomb each other.
Yes.
It was cute. So what would you be doing if you weren't in entertainment?
I would probably be just volunteering in places around the world with kids in low-income communities. Philanthropy work.
That's really sweet.
Yes, I would.
I don't know.
What about you?
I don't know what I would be doing. Maybe like an archaeologist.
What kind of fossils are you looking for?
No, not an archaeologist. What's the thing? The anthropologist. Wrong career.
Yes.
One time I went to Brazil and my professor was an anthropologist, and I thought it was really cool to study the way other people live. I'm not gonna do that, but if I had another option, I would do that. Went to Brazil. I think I talked about it. We learned about like other religions, candomblé, all that stuff.
Speaking about how other people live, we have a beautiful couple joining us who are well-known influencers, and they are going to tell us about their journey of creating supportive relationships.
5 a.m., how you up, where you at? I just want to be around you. Forever, you're what I want. You're what I want. Anywhere you want to go.
And we're back. Welcome back to the sala, everybody. Welcome. We have our guests, Eden Jay. You guys have been clap it up. What I love about you ladies is that you really focus on healthy relationships. I know we were in the green room talking about, I felt it. I already feel like healed. Like I feel, I was toxic this morning and I'm healing in real time in this corner. You're giving fun, you're giving sexy, you're giving individuality, but still love, a lot of love. And I also did bother them and ask them their signs, Gemini and Pisces.
Yes.
So
Gemini,
that everybody knows. And we have a few questions. Welcome to the sala.
Thank you. When I saw like healthy relationship advocate, it was like as if God answered my prayer so I could like learn about what's going on. But first and foremost, I would like to learn your story. Like how you guys met, your meet cute story, and what you were looking for at the time, and if you expected.
Somebody told us that in the agreement, one is the right story, one is the wrong story. So I want to guess.
Well, obviously mine is the right story.
Gemini. No, yeah.
That's incorrect. The Pisces is correct.
But I want to know how you ladies met.
Oh, well, I think just even like before we met, neither of us were looking for a relationship. You just got a brand new car that you were ready to have your hot girl summer.
Yes. I wanted to live my best single life, so I went out right after my breakup and bought like a fancy schmancy convertible car for me and my dog because I wanted to stunt. And
You better
have,
bring
like,
the dog
this-
with you on tour.
Yes,
Let's go,
hot girl summer, and then I met her, and I was like, yeah, that.
And I just gotten the keys to my 2-story condo, and it was going to be my bachelorette pad. I was like single, ready to kind of just like have a good time by myself. Now, no roommates, nothing, just me, myself, and I, and whoever
boom.
else.
She drove by your condo and y'all got together.
No, I wish it was like that. No, we were both on a dating app, so like true millennial love story. We were both swiping, and the app suggested us to each other. We didn't even get to swipe on each
Do
other.
you feel comfortable?
Isn't that
Which
crazy?
app was it?
Hinge.
Oh, Hinge. Hinge is for love.
Hinge has suggestions.
Yes.
dope.
Kind of like on Instagram, there's like suggestion
So they,
followers.
like,
Could be
study-
friends, yeah.
They study what?
They study who you've been going on dates with and who you've been had bad dates with and good dates with, and then they like suggest people to you
And
based
dating-
off of who you've been on dates
So
with.
I want to know, what did the Hinge profile look like? Like, what do you have on your Hinge profile? Like, I know.
Girl.
What made you like be curious about her?
Girl, Eden's.
You thought it was a catfish.
Yeah, because her profile was all thirst traps.
I mean,
Well, obviously you're into that.
Obviously, you were thirsty.
You definitely quenched my thirst.
But I want to know, like, some of the questions. I think some of them are like best places you've traveled to, or like, what did you have on your profile?
I very much remember I had like a very skimpy bikini pic from Miami. That
Okay,
was
let's
like
go. That's important.
Just butt, not even face or like
Just
brain.
Just
It was
butt?
like just butt.
Wait, but that says a lot about you.
right.
That means you were like kind of booty call vibes.
This says a lot about you.
You were
That's
just
what
like,
I'm saying. You were both sending each other the same message. Like, I'm
That's what
I'm by myself.
Exactly.
So it was like either way, like you were on the same maybe frequency or energy.
right. So
Totally.
then, was your intention to just hook up?
Yes, that was my intention.
And then what happened? Okay, so what happened? Tell us the rest of the story.
Okay, so what had happened was, I had just gotten the keys to my new apartment. I had a rabbit at the time, and my apartment wasn't pet friendly. So I have a go-to best friend who's my rabbit sitter, who was supposed to come pick up the rabbit so I can get my apartment inspected and move out. That happened that day of our first date, and Jay decided to pick the west side, and neither of us live on the west side.
I lived in Koreatown, and Eden.
For the
lived
first date.
For the first date, and I live in North Hollywood. So by default, you are an hour plus away from the west side.
That's commitment already. LA dating is commitment, like to leave your house.
But why
You're
why
kind of
were we on the
invested.
west side?
I had a second date lined up right after her.
Right after me.
Oh.
Right after me.
Yes.
Same day.
I could not.
Same day.
I've tried the
wait,
2 dates
what?
in one
Back to
night.
back?
It's exhausting. Too much.
I'm down.
Yeah.
She's like efficiency.
Oh, wait,
I'm
but
gonna go on
don't
a
waste
date.
don't waste the outfit. Okay, so where was it?
I'm done.
Where was it?
So it was at an Italian restaurant in on Venice Beach.
Yeah.
So
Romantic.
Right
yeah,
on the
right on the water.
the water, yeah.
And
But-
so, what was your first impression when you saw each other?
Well, I didn't have one because she was 45 minutes late to our first
Oh.
date.
First of all,
45.
I mean,
Not
to be fair,
45.
to
Were
be
you
fair,
pissed?
I'm still new to LA. There's a lot of traffic.
There's a lot of traffic.
There's a lot of
especially
traffic.
going to the other side.
To the other side.
of
I'm on your
town.
side, Team Gemini.
So is
Thank
this when
you.
the story is like?
So this is where it gets a little murky who you ask, but I was late because my rabbit sitter was running late, therefore I was running late. And then I picked the restaurant, she picked the area.
And the restaurant that she chose is one of those restaurants that doesn't allow you to sit unless you have your whole party there.
Oh no!
And there was no bar.
Oh, no.
Right? But I was like, why would you? I was curious too. Why'd you wait 45 minutes? And you thought I was a catfish?
Yeah, I really
Why
wanted to
didn't
see.
you like text each other?
I did text
She did.
her. I
She
was
did
texting
text
her
me.
live, like, I'm on my way. I'm coming.
I don't know.
I thought she was lying though, because she's like, my bunny sitter
But I guess-
is running late. And I was
Wait,
like,
if we
this
think about it,
girl.
Why am I gonna
serendipity,
lie?
thank God that you had that second date lined up because you had time anyways. You're like,
That's true.
whatever.
Oh, that's
so
true. That's
God
probably why
bless
you
that other
waited.
chick.
You're right.
Because I would never be waiting for nobody 45
I
minutes.
have never
You're 15
waited.
minutes late, we're done. This is not going anywhere.
I've honestly, this is so bad to admit out loud, but I've actually been more late to dates.
Oh, wow. Okay, see, I can't defend you anymore.
I know. I've been over an hour late to a date before, but it was like I wasn't in the right headspace to even be dating, if I was honest.
At that time?
At that time.
Okay, so then what happened?
So what happened was, I'm 45 minutes late. I don't even remember, because parking obviously in Venice is just nuts anyways. I found valet for some random thing. I just threw my keys on the car, made eye contact with the valet driver, and just prayed my car was going to be there when I got back. And then I booked it, and I was starting to run. And I remember seeing
And then
her
I
across
see
the
her
street.
across the street running slow-mo, like Baywatch.
You're like,
I'm like,
boobs were
oh,
just
okay.
Oh, wow.
This is worth the wait.
I am not a catfish. Those thirst traps are real.
Wait, so what ended up happening to date number 2? You just
Okay,
never went?
Wait. So what happened was, I get to the date. She is pissed. She is absolutely
and I think
rightfully so.
so.
Rightfully so. I owned it. Rightfully so. She was pissed. Granted, if we were on our side of town, I would have been fine. Nor here nor there. So she's pissed. And so normally when you go into a date, you put your best foot forward, no matter what. And I felt like I had nothing to lose when I went on this date with her, because she was already mad. This girl's never gonna talk to me again. Like, she just looks like I don't even want to be here right now.
Right.
But meanwhile, like, it's that very cliche feeling, and I used to hear people say it all the time, and I didn't never believe them. But when you meet the person, it's like getting hit by a truck or like a train, or something in you just shifts. Like, your whole world, like, you just know it'll never be the same ever again.
Oh my God.
And so my
whole truck?
a whole truck.
sweet.
Like, I literally got hit by a truck.
You're like, this is romantic. I'm like, ow.
It's like when you know, you
Romantic
know.
how? When you know, you know. And I was like, I used to think people were full of it. And it's real. It's absolutely real, because I went to that date and I was like, my strategy for this, I cannot let this first date end, because the moment I let her go, I'm never going to see her again. So I have to keep date 1 as long as possible, and we're still on it 4 years later.
Oh, wow.
I never let her go.
Wait, so was it after the date that you realized, or the second that you saw her, you're like,
No.
whatever this is, like, I need
No, I
this
knew
for the
in
rest of
that
my life?
moment. In that moment, I knew she was the one, and I couldn't let her go. And I was just trying everything to keep that first date going. So after the dinner,
Well, for me, it was our conversation. It didn't hit
was
me
it?
immediately, but she was so open to just talk about everything, like triggers, traumas, backgrounds, like what you're looking for in,
What do you want?
in your
Yeah,
person.
so she was
What
like
are you
a really
looking for,
emotionally
period.
intelligent.
Yes, and that's
Yeah.
so sexy to me.
So sexy.
the first question she asked me, she was like, "Why are you single?"
Why were you single at that time?
I was single because I battled and I watched my mom die from cancer, and emotionally I felt like, who would even love somebody with half a heart, because when she left, she took half of it with her. And I'm sitting here like owning that space, and as much as I would love to be open to love, like, I don't know, and that's why I'm single. It's because nobody can love someone like me right now, or I don't even know if I'm deserving of that.
Wow.
And so that was
And did you share that story?
Literally, yeah.
Right.
This
wow.
is our first date right now. Like, that is
Wow.
the conversation. And then that went into her mom losing her battle to cancer, and just like her history of dates and what she's looking for. And that was exactly what I was looking for. But I didn't think I was going to find it, which is why I was trying to live my hobby.
Yeah, you're like, that never happens. You're like, I give up on
And
love.
like,
Too good to be true.
Yeah, to be
Yeah.
completely real, after my last breakup before her, I wrote down a mantra for myself, and I would read it every day.
What
And I
was it?
wrote all the things that I wanted in my next partner. And if they didn't have those things, I wasn't down. It was like, I want someone that can communicate. I want someone that can speak their truth. I want someone that is confident with our love, that I don't have to doubt, their love for me. Like, all these things. It was like an essay, and I would read it every morning to remind myself, like, yo, don't waste your time on like bullshit and people that aren't worth it.
Yeah.
And then I met her, and I was like, you check literally everything on my list.
How did you know that you were ready to open yourself to someone and have a relationship?
Oh, I didn't know I was ready. That was the problem. Like, I knew when I met her, like, this was real. and I need to get my shit together ASAP.
Oh,
That's right.
So she never made it to that second date or any other day after
But did
that.
you disclose that you had a second date, or that's something that came later?
No, I just met her. I didn't disclose that I had a second
tell me
date.
that.
So what did you say? Like, let me go to the bathroom. Like, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I was like, here's my credit card. I'm gonna pick up the tab, but I gotta go to the restroom. And then I went to the restroom and I texted the girl and I was like, yo, I'm like gonna be probably like 30 minutes late. Because the second date was right around the corner from the restaurant. So
Damn, you was gonna just be like, okay, bye. Like, you're not parking. Yeah.
Can I ask you guys your coming out story, if that's okay?
yeah, of course.
Did you all?
Okay. A lot younger.
Yeah,
than
I
did.
came out when I was 16, so I came out in my teens.
Did you always know that you were only into women?
Oh yes,
Oh, wow.
I had a crush on my 4th grade teacher. Shout out to Miss Campbell, she was so hot.
Okay.
Miss Campbell.
And
Core memory.
yes, she left an imprint on me, and I was like the kid that always brought like beautiful bouquets of flowers on Valentine's Day for my pretty teacher.
Wow.
Who happened to be a female, very femme.
But I see this yearbook.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right. Let me see your type.
The thing is, I never knew what sexual. You're so young, you don't know why you're attracted to what you're attracted to. So I thought it was normal. Like I really thought that girls just checked other girls out, like in middle school, high school. But I had a pretty traumatic coming out story. I was disowned by my family, and I was sent.
What?
Yeah, I was nuts. When I was 16, my cousin was 15, and we were like best friends. You know, you grow up with your cousins and sisters.
Yeah.
And she confided in me and told me that she was gay and she was dating this girl. And I was like, no way, girl, me too. Like, I haven't told anybody because we come from a super Catholic family. So that was a big no-no.
Oh, I know.
So when we were like talking and confiding in each other, she went to meet up with her girlfriend, and my tia literally caught her making out with her girlfriend, like on our block.
And the tia snitch?
I know.
Yeah,
That is not a cool tia. Tias are not supposed to snitch.
No, but it was her daughter.
Yes,
Oh, it was her. Okay, never mind. Sorry, wrong family
tia.
tree.
Her tia.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Her mom's caught her.
Oh, that's different when it's your kid. Yeah.
And it was over. Like the entire family. She told the entire family. It was like
Oh, no.
news the next day.
Damn, no privacy.
It was so traumatic.
Yeah.
And then at a family barbecue, we were all hanging out, and my tia just starts going off on like how she's a lesbian. She can't believe she's like dating two women, and like what are the people gonna say? Like, what does that mean about our religion? And just like going off. And I remember,
Always what are people gonna say?
exactly.
I know.
It's always like that. And my mom jumped in and she started like gay bashing. And I couldn't sit there and be like, this is okay. Like, so I just outed myself and I said, hey, like if you're gonna call her those names, you should call me that as well, because I'm also
That
gay.
must have been a crazy barbecue. Like you were in the park and you're like looking like, what's going on over there?
Do you imagine?
Yeah, like you're just walking by like, what are they talking about?
That asada was a very intense one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my mom literally grabbed me from my hair and like pulled me out of the barbecue and was
you
like,
serious?
yeah, she was like, we're going home right now. And like started calling me all sorts of names on the way home. She was like, I never want to talk to you again. How dare you embarrass me, embarrass our family. Like,
Oh, so
you
you
think
did it
you
in front of the
are?
whole family?
yes.
You said it in front of the
because
family.
the whole family was ganging up on my cousin. It was like 1 versus 20.
And you know you gotta stick up for favorite cousin.
Yeah.
And
she
then-
was, yeah,
and then
she was
what
my favorite.
happened?
Yeah, and then like I was like bawling. I didn't know what to do, and I've always been like, I'm a Pisces, so I've always been like all about my feelings.
Yeah.
I wrote my mom like a 2-page letter telling her like this doesn't affect our relationship. Like I love you. Nothing's gonna change. It's just like what I'm attracted to.
Wow.
And I gave it to her, and she like dead ass just ripped the letter in my face and was like, I don't want to talk to you. Like didn't even read the letter.
So did you stay, like did you grow up with your mom? Or you
Well,
just
yeah, I've always grown up with my
Yeah.
mom. My mom was a single parent, but that was when I was 16. And the very next day, so I went to sleep. I was crying. I went to sleep. I was like, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. The very next day, she got me a one-way ticket, plane ticket, to go live with my dad, who I hadn't seen since I was 7 in Guatemala. What? Yeah, it was nuts. So nuts. And I had never been out of the country, ever. And now she was sending me like on a plane by myself with like one luggage, like grab whatever you can and you know.
I'm sorry, where is the TV pilot? Right.
That is
Yeah,
crazy.
she told her she can't come back until
But
she's
what-
straight.
what
Wait,
is that?
did you hear that? That
Yeah.
she can't come back until she's straight.
But did your mom ever like change her mind? Like, do you still talk to your mom? Like,
No.
you
We
never
don't
talked to her
talk.
since that day?
No, I did talk to her after that.
Yeah.
I ended up coming back a year later, and I tried to mend our relationship. She apologized.
Yeah.
I was like, let me be the bigger person. I went to a lot of therapy. Like, I had to unpack a lot, especially as a kid.
That's a lot. You're
I had to
16.
grow up really fast,
Yeah.
like really fast. And when I came back, I worked on myself. She was like, I am going to figure out how to accept this. And we were fine on and off. And then I met Eden, and this became very serious. So this was kind of like the downfall to my relationship with my mom.
The re-relationship.
The re-relationship with my mom.
So you don't have a relationship with your mom
Right now,
anymore?
no. I'm 4 years no contact.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
yeah, I think sometimes we do need like breaks from our I think sometimes like
for
they're
sure.
really like stuck in their ways, and I feel like they feel like it depends what kind of relationship you have with your parents, but I think they're like a conversation about like how can you not talk to your parents or whatever, but sometimes you do need your own identity separate from them, and they need to also respect that you're you're a grown ass adult, and
And sometimes the only way they'll learn is if you stand your ground.
True. But I think that's another thing, right? Boundaries. I think within the Latino culture, we have no boundaries.
No boundaries.
Right.
We're
Zero.
taught from a very young age, you have to respect your elders, you have to ride or die for your family, regardless of how toxic they are.
right
It's like very
now.
mafia
true.
style mentality.
Yeah.
And
Did you have a similar experience too, or
no, I came out later on in life. So I came out probably in my like mid to late 20s. And by that time, I was already in LA. I was very independent. I had an opposite relationship with my family. I was maybe too independent, like to a fault. I've had to work since I was 15. I've like paid my own rent since I was very young. I paid my way through college by myself. I did everything by myself. And so when I understood that, I'm bisexual, when I moved to LA, my mentality was, whether you accept me or not, I don't need you. Like I've been good on my own this whole time. Not that they didn't want to.
Yeah.
My family wanted to be a part of my life, and I think that must be pretty hard to not be needed. But if you're there, it's amazing. But I've done everything on my own, so I think whether they accepted me or not, it was more of like you're gonna miss out. Like you're gonna miss out on a great daughter, on the great life that I'm gonna have, and if you don't accept me who I am, like take it or leave it. So I was very cold.
And you said you were bisexual. Did that affect anything with you? Like, do you usually date women that are bisexual?
No, never.
You've never dated women that are bisexual?
Never.
So how does that work in the community? Because so you just
It's a
chose that you
struggle.
want to marry a girl. It didn't matter, like you didn't have a preference, boy or girl in general.
No, so my bisexuality in general is a spectrum, right? So I really need to have a connection with the person that is across from me. Could be a guy, could be a girl, could be they, them, trans. It doesn't really matter. I just didn't want to limit myself to meeting the right person based on what they just happened to be born with. Like that wasn't a big issue for me. Like I like to be stimulated emotionally, mentally, as well as physically. And physical is such a small part if you really think about it, at least for me.
Yeah.
I'm very much an intimate person, but like intimacy looks so different, and it's very big. And so I identify as bisexual, and my bisexuality is still monogamous. Like bisexuals are very capable of being monogamous despite what the media and like shows will tell you and stuff. But it's been a battle in the dating scene because straight men find bisexual women like intimidating, and then lesbian women find bisexual women like untrustworthy. So it's like, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. And every time when that conversation gets caught up, like I'm bisexual, it's like, it always becomes
It's like an elephant in the room kind
an
of.
elephant in the room, or like, I don't know what to do with you, or I'm too nervous about what you might do before they even get to know me. So there's a lot of prejudgment. And I do know that I feel like the men definitely have it a lot harder than the women, but dating for me wasn't easy. And a lot of times I would date men just because it was easier, not because that's what I wanted at the time,
Right,
but it
right.
was just easier. And then when I would try to date women, and I would really try, the conversations would go great with lesbians until they find out that I'm bisexual, or they finally read my bio because it's very open, it's there, and then the conversation dies off and it goes cold. And so with Jay, like you did not have a thing for bisexuals at all. You were very
really?
biphobic.
No. Yeah, I was definitely biphobic when I met
That's a
her.
term, biphobic.
Yeah, biphobic,
Yeah.
meaning like you
Anti-bi.
anti-bi. Yeah, anti-bi.
You're just scared, yeah.
But that's the thing, right? Like when I was biphobic, I didn't realize where that stemmed from.
Yeah, where does it stem from?
A lot of insecurity. I think for me at the time when I met her, I thought she was going to cheat on me with a dude.
Right.
And like, I can't compete with a guy. Like,
Right.
we're equipped completely different. But that's just where my head went, not realizing that's just me. Like, a cheater is going to cheat regardless of their
100%.
sexuality. And that was something that I didn't realize, and it didn't click until I met her. And I was like, nah, she's right. Like, I shouldn't judge someone based on their sexual history. Like, that has nothing to do with the person that they are.
Do you ever feel bad for having, I guess, biphobic tendencies? I think it's really big of you to say, like, I used to have this viewpoint and then I changed. Do you ever feel like bad? Like, sometimes I'll go back in time, like, damn, like, I could have been less toxic or whatever. Do you ever feel bad about having that former viewpoint?
Totally. All the time. We have open conversations about it. But again, I can't change what I was or what I thought back in the day. All I can do is change my perspective now.
And now you guys are engaged.
Right, let's go.
In Oaxaca.
Yeah, we are.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
How did it go from there? Like, you guys are more open on social media. You're setting an example to all the people around the world. How did you guys decide to take that step to be public and actually also be people that are gonna teach your relationship to other people?
Well, it's because even within our first date and dating in general, we've learned so much about what it means to be healthy for each other, because we weren't healthy before we met. And
really?
Yeah, I mean, even admitting to, being biphobic, right?
Yeah.
And knowing how to like open your mind and open your perspective. Like, that was the first question you asked me on my first date about being bisexual. And I was like, what are you afraid of? She's like, I'm afraid you're going to cheat. I was like, then ask me if I'm a cheater. Because whether I cheat on you with a guy or a girl, cheating is still cheating. And if you ask where I stand on cheating, I don't stand for it.
And then I was like, I got a ring in my pocket. Let's go.
Do you feel like what made you guys so healthy is just being straight up, cold turkey, honest off bat?
Honesty
growing
is
pains.
harder for people to do. I really feel like
said
it is.
honesty?
Honesty.
Yeah.
Like, just being honest with somebody and not being afraid to ask.
Well, I think part of that is that you have to be honest with yourself. Like, when you both met, you probably were like, this is where I'm at. This is who I am. If you don't like me, whoever that could have been, like, I don't want to be with you. But I think it's also like you have to be honest with yourself so you can be honest with other people. A lot of people are walking out here delusional.
Did you guys ever have like, I know you guys are amazing right now, but like any obstacles, any breakdowns, any like
all of it.
breakups that was like a crazy fight?
Thankfully, we've never broken up.
never broken up.
But there was some growing pains.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in a household where just feelings and emotions were swept under the rug.
Yeah,
You're not supposed
same.
to talk about it.
Same.
You're supposed to be strong no matter what, whether you're going through grief, a loss, any of that. So when I met her, I realized very quickly I had a lot of toxic traits that I need to get over. Like walking out of a relationship, like walking out of a conversation or
Walking away to
I
not
just
confront
blocked somebody because
that
of that.
was like
I've
my
done- I
big
do that.
thing.
I do
I was
You
quick-
do that?
I mean, sometimes I'll just like step back and just not talk about it and just walk away. I do, because I'd rather not react and act foolish. I'll just kind of disappear for a bit.
Yeah, which is messed up.
which is really messed up and hurtful.
Totally.
Not now. I used to. But like now, recently, I'll be like, okay, what's up? Like, let's talk about this. Even though like I used to have like a lump in my throat all the time. Now I need that lump back because I'm talking too much.
Yeah, and I think
I
on
want to talk
top
about
of that,
everything.
I was also a people pleaser.
Oh.
So you got people pleasing and
So you're, like,
avoiding
lying to yourself,
arguments.
basically, because you wanna-
Exactly.
You're lying to others because you didn't want to have a confrontation. Don't let the tattoos fool you. She's non-confrontational.
Oh, wait, so do you,
Better now.
do you guys
way
go to
better.
therapy together?
Yes.
Like 6 months into our relationship, we did couples therapy.
We were like, we want this to work. We want to use that therapy as preventative, not as a last thing, last resort.
I like that.
That's really
That's
I want to go back to social media a little bit because I think social media is in such a polarizing place right now. Like,
Totally.
you can put anything and it's just like anything could be slammed. Like, I like hot dogs and that shit is I'm gonna get canceled.
Tore apart.
Right, but I think being queer, being lesbian, bisexual can trigger a lot of other people's maybe their own journeys. And do you ever feel like you have to navigate maybe negative conversations online, especially because your relationship is so public and a lot of like stigma within Latinos and the Latino family structure. So you ever feel like sometimes you have to take a break from social media, or like, do you have like tools in place where like, you know what, I have to educate this person, or I choose not to
why is it
educate this person
important?
because they should do their own homework?
Well, we didn't wake up trying like with the goal to be influencers. That was never a thing. We started this page primarily because we never saw, we couldn't find an account that focused on healthy relationship within the Latino community, especially within the queer Latino community. Like it just doesn't exist. So we took it upon ourselves to share the tools that we learned in therapy and like within our relationship for those that probably can't afford therapy, aren't familiar with therapy. It's taboo because that conversation, therapy in general in the Latino community is like unheard of. You know, you don't talk about that.
We both come from broken homes, right? And so your first vision of a relationship starts with your parents. And so we didn't have like the best example of what a healthy dynamic of communication, relationship, compromise, love looks like.
Right.
We've had a very long string of, toxic relationships, which we know what we don't want, but not enough representation of what we do want. And so as we're trying to figure out this journey of how to be that healthy couple that we always knew we could be if we just put in the work for it, let's try to be that for somebody else who may not have that example, to let you know it's possible. It's absolutely possible, but it's not easy. And we don't sugarcoat it. We don't lie about it. It takes work. It takes compromise, 100% compromise. Your stubbornness and your ego, check that at the door, because that relationship is not going to work.
For real.
And
So what things do you guys share on your Instagram to help other couples?
Everything.
even like disagreements.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
All the time.
We're very different people. Like I said,
That's a
I'm a
good thing,
reactive
though.
person and she's a logical person. So it takes a lot to figure out how we can speak the same language.
So how do you do that?
So she operates a lot on emotion, and I'm very logical. And so we understand that we are two different people who have very different communication styles. Doesn't mean one is better than the other. Doesn't mean one's right and one's wrong. At the end of the day, you have to come from a place of love and respect. And there's going to be compromise. Someone has to give up something. It can't be one person compromising all the time or giving up.
No.
Because
listening?
it's gonna feel. It's gonna
Wait,
feel.
somebody has to
heavy.
give up something.
You both have to give up something.
Yeah, they
you
both
both have to compromise and meet in the middle. But you also have to understand, and this is like our biggest thing that we preach every day, is safe space. You have to give your partner safe space to be honest with you, and you can't judge them for being honest. Because what you don't want for them to do is lie or to not communicate, because they don't feel safe to talk to you. So we create this safe space, and we've worked very hard to create it.
How
It's
do you
like,
create a safe space? Asking for a friend.
No, that was scary.
Girl, asking for Ivana. You always want to blame things on me. Sorry.
How do you
It's
create a safe
okay,
space?
yeah.
For everybody. For everybody.
Well, Ivana.
Yeah.
Right.
and Ivana friend.
Yeah.
I think when we first started dating, Eden played this game where she's like, the couch is safe space. So if we're sitting on the couch and you want to tell me like something that you're not, that you're not comfortable speaking, if we're on this couch, whatever goes, with no type of judgment or backlash. And so we started playing this game where if I needed to tell her something that I didn't feel comfortable, I would call safe space on the couch. I'd be like,
Such
couch.
a good
Safe
idea.
space. And I feel like that's good because it just is a culture, like a tradition of relationship where you're like, okay, we know what time it is.
Yeah, and you kind of
get in the zone.
It's not, nothing comes unexpected either. You kind of you can expect the worst or the best or whatever it is, but you'll be open about
Your
it.
guard is already down.
That's such a
Guys,
good
you
idea.
need to establish like that safe zone. Like we're in this ring together, and where it's always going to come from is that we need to fight for each other and not against each other. So help me help you get to what we need, because we're going to get there a lot faster, and this phase and this friction will end a lot sooner if we just work on it together instead of against each other. So it's do you want to fight with your person, or do you want to find a solution with your person?
And I'm gonna be real, this sounds easy, but applying this to a relationship is a lot of work. And we always say this is the hardest relationship we've both been in, because we have to work every day.
We ask a lot of questions. I think that's key. That'll help you guys so much, is asking, like, when your person is, when you're approaching a conflict, right, or a confrontation, and your person is like off and just venting, you need to ask them, do you want me to solve the problem, or do you just want me to listen?
I want to ask about
two different
I want to ask a question for a friend.
That is so smart.
Yeah.
Not for me, for a friend, Ivana.
I'm gonna be an amazing woman after this.
Yeah, right.
I can't wait to see my boyfriend after this.
I think sometimes in relationships, I think a lot of maybe what we're taught, like what we end up doing in relationships, like I want to show up for you. But what about when somebody has a lot of maybe they're going through a rough patch in their life, like, you know, losing a job or maybe losing a family member, and sometimes when that becomes like a weight on you, like, you know, I'm sure maybe there's been circumstances where you were in different places and something became a weight. How do you set a boundary to be like, I still want to show up for you, but I can't take all of this on because you're bringing me down? Like, do you ever have maybe within this relationship or other people that have had that question for a friend?
Yeah, we've had that actually.
yeah.
Yeah. when we first started dating, Eden lost her mom not that long ago to cancer. And so she was battling with a lot of that grief, and she was
depression,
a lot of depression when we first started dating. And it got to the point where I was like, listen, I love you and I want nothing but the best for you, but if you don't get help with coping with this, I can't go on that journey with you. Like, it's not my journey to take.
She's like, you're drowning when you're taking me with you. And she's like, you're going to a place that I can't go. So I need you to make a choice. And it's like, you lost your mom and you're going to lose me too. So I had to choose.
You buckled up.
I'm so happy you spoke up. I think a lot of people just end up just going with the flow and then having resentment for their partner and then maybe a bigger blow up. Are you good?
I'm just so emotional. It's like so beautiful to see like this pure raw emotion that like I feel like with a lot of female and male couples, it's hard to like get that common to get to that common place all the time. Like men are from Mars, women are from Venus kind of vibes. But I realize that it's not about that at all. It's just about communicating and just like being really honest. And that's like the hardest thing to do for a lot of people.
I think people will, like, to your point, when you put things online, people can say like, man, she gave you an ultimatum. I was like, thank God she did.
Yeah.
But it was my choice to take it, you know, and she was doing what was best for her, and I can't get mad at her for that. Like, that's where that no judgment comes from. That safe space, and you're telling me what you need, and she's like, I need you to get better. It's not that I don't love you, and it's not that if you didn't choose me, I would never stop loving you for the rest of my life. But I can't watch you go through this, because when you love somebody who's going through pain, it hurts. And I don't want to hurt her. I want to love her. And so it was really a motivation for me to get help and to be better. And I think a lot of arguments in couples, when they get defensive, they feel like they're the best versions of themselves already, and they don't want to hear how they can improve. Versus me, I'm like, tell me how I can be a better partner, because that's what you deserve. And it's my choice to change. And so I chose to get help. And my emotions are like, not because I'm sad because I miss my mom, because I'm so proud of you for doing that, because I needed that. And if you weren't going to do it, I probably would still be, you know, sad in the corner crying, you know, missing somebody who was very much here. Like, she's alive.
She's
She's here. And
I want to keep talking about what do you want?
Family.
Yeah, family. Like,
because
we're on the same page. Look at you guys as healthy. You guys used to argue on the couch, and now look at us. We've been in the same space, Ivana. The couch. Whenever we got beef, the couch.
What I want to say is you're growing your business together, but you're also in the middle of growing a family, right?
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us about the process of the IVF? Like, what's going on with IVF, and who's going to be holding the baby? I'm so, like, what's going on?
Holding the baby. I'm not.
Yeah, we started our IVF journey almost 3 years ago.
I don't know.
Yeah, we started 3 years ago, and we're really big on like fertility and advocating for fertility, because it took us 3 years to get to where we are today. And people think like you can get pregnant, at least if you're gay, you know, you can get pregnant like that, and it's not realistic. And for us, we're two women, and we thought, like, great, we have double the odds of this working.
We're two young women on top of that.
Did you, I'm sorry if I missed it, did you decide who is going to carry? That was a question you were asking, right?
We're going to carry.
They're both
so you both are going to have babies at the same time?
No.
Wait, no, I don't know. Wait,
she has fighting questions.
No, enough fighting. That's the same space.
Who's going first?
No judgment.
Okay, so we're taking turns.
Yes, we're taking turns.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm going
no
first.
shades to people who get pregnant at the same time, but that's just not our journey.
How do you decide to go first?
Well, so I'm a little bit older than Eden, so I'm gonna go first, and we're also doing reciprocal IVF, which means I'm gonna carry her egg and she's gonna carry mine. So my baby's gonna look like her, and then her baby's gonna look like me.
So it's gonna have a little bit of you too, with her egg.
Yeah.
Well,
Right in the DNA.
It's my
your egg.
DNA, no.
going in her
How does
body.
this work?
Yeah, but it's okay. We didn't do that good in bio.
Her egg is going in your body.
Yes.
So it's gonna have her egg and then part of you, your blood, your everything.
Not really.
I think
DNA.
think about it like a surrogacy.
I'm confused.
I think if you think about it like a surrogacy, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I think more like that, Ivana.
DNA-wise, it'll just be me and the donor, but like she will have a part in this whole process, because she will be the one giving birth to our baby. So it'll be a little bit of a mixture of everyone. Genetically, yes, me, but or biologically, yes, me. But the process of bringing this person into life is definitely her.
Yeah.
Genetically, there won't be any traces of her DNA, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't have a part in this process. And then I'm also opting to do induced lactation. So while she's breastfeeding, I can speed up that process for myself, and I can breastfeed and help her out. So she can sleep, and then I can
Isn't that
breastfeed and
crazy?
bond.
See,
and
it's giving partnership.
yeah, we're a team.
This is like the most beautiful thing on the planet.
We had a straight friend that's like, I want to come back as a gay woman, so who just had a baby, so she can help me out. And
Yeah,
vice versa.
because. And I know that we have to wrap up this section real quick, but I know we talked a lot about just how we do our emotions, being there for each other, being better partners. You talk about IVF, but I also want to talk about you also work together. You have a business venture.
Oh, yeah.
So you
Tell
must
us
really
about the
like each other. 'Cause I can't get along with nobody. I mean, I'm working on it, but I can barely get along like with other team members. So you also do parties called Preciosa Nights. So we want to know
Tell us
about
all about Preciosa Night, how it came about.
We did. So last May, we created an event called Preciosa Night, and it was strictly to bring our BIPOC queer community to the forefront while bringing culture and community like together, right? Because I feel like for us, a lot of these queer spaces, specifically in LA, they tend to be a little white. No problem, no shade, but I feel like there's no culture or sazon that gets thrown in there to make us feel a little more welcome. And so that was kind of like the idea behind it.
We also still wanted to bring that element of safe space, right? Like you can just let your guard down. Everyone gets along. It's good energy and good people. And so we were like, can we make something where it's like a blend of our online like personas and our community and bring it to the real world? And so it was definitely a dream of Jay's. Jay's the dreamer. I'm the executor. That's how we work so well as a business.
great. Yeah,
That's what. So what's
that's
a
my
night?
brain,
What's a
right?
Preciosa Night like?
Oh,
like,
man.
like, what are we wearing? What are we wearing? Like,
We are
what's up?
slaying.
We're slaying.
We're
We're
coming
coming.
with the girls. Yeah. There's
Gays and days.
Gays and days. Gays and days. All
And
are
allies.
welcomed and
Welcome.
allies.
Wait, and gay days and allies.
What is
Yeah.
that? Gay and days.
Days.
Well, it's okay. Let's
Oh, days. Yeah, sorry. There's a gay
It's
and
all
days.
good. All are welcomed as long as you don't bring any drama. We've got drag kings, we've got queer DJs, we've got performers, queer burlesque dancers. It's a whole production.
And you two
It's a
did this
whole
yourself.
production.
You guys
Yeah.
started this whole thing.
How did you know that it was gonna be? I think when you're
Successful.
doing live events, like you don't know if it's gonna be like successful, if it's gonna transfer from online to in person.
When did you realize like, oh, this is gonna pop off?
Our first
Our first
party.
one.
We
Our first
we
one.
got a bar in downtown that could maybe fit 200 people. And we were thinking, we'll do a little shout out, we'll put it on social, maybe 100 people will show up, and half of them are going to be our friends that are just there to hang out with us. Long and behold, it was like 400 people that showed up. The line was wrapped around the block
You
before
pay
the
to get
doors
in?
opened.
No,
it's a
this
free
one was
event.
free.
We just threw a free event.
Yeah.
Wow.
We just wanted to see. And then sure enough, we hit capacity 30 minutes, with the doors opening. And so we were like, okay, let's try it again. Let's charge tickets, and then let's see if that was just a fluke, right? Because we didn't want it to be just like a DJ and music playing and that's it. Like we really want to give our culture and our community some like limelight. And so we're like, what talent can we hire? What can we bring? And the second one, we brought in a Selena impersonator, and she did a whole performance.
I mean, we love her.
It's kind of like a festival vibe.
Totally.
Yeah.
We got her like 24 roses to hand out to the crowd during her Como la Flor performance.
And it was a beautiful moment. And that was about 500, 600 people that showed up to that one. And New Year's Eve had over 1,000 people. And so it just keeps going and growing.
So is that your main business?
No.
They're entrepreneurs.
just on our
They have a portfolio, Ivana.
So what else are you guys doing?
We have like not a 9 to 5, but we're freelance social media managers for different small businesses around LA. That's like a small
Both of you?
portion. Both
Yes,
of us.
we both do that.
Wow.
And then we have Preciosa Night, and then we're also influencers, so we deal with a lot of brands online that pay us to do
And
stuff.
just to bring it back to Preciosa Night real quick, I know you have different bands for like if you identify with certain, I guess.
So that's what I love about this is that we're able to like create the night to be whatever we want. And we think of everything from the back to the front. And so when we go out to events, there's a lot of anxiety, right? So we're all about therapy. How can we lower people's anxiety and make it more friendly? And we're like, let's give them bracelets so they can go and meet each other and know what you're looking for, right?
That
So the
is so
singles
smart.
can meet other
I like that.
singles
What
and wear
color's gonna
green
be
bracelets.
Your bracelet.
Yellow is friends and networking.
Yellow.
Red
Yellow.
is
I'm red.
don't
Don't
want to
talk
be
to
bothered.
me. I'm just gonna be there. I'm partying by sometimes I'm just in my very like solo era right now. I'll wear yellow if Ivana goes, so we could be.
We just
together.
did a poly one now. We've opened it up to poly because they need to be represented as well, which is really cool. And it's taken off pretty well.
Yeah,
Well,
people love it.
We love everything about this event. We want to give the audience a vibe of what it is. So check out this clip, guys.
Clap your hand.
Preciosa Night, and if you're gonna go to Preciosa Night, you're gonna need some Latino Rizz.
You need some swag. You need some game.
Right.
You need to have a good vibe. You can't just be going there silent, right?
Do you have game, Ivana? No, I mean, I'm not even trying to put you. I want to know. Do you have game?
I've been in this game for years.
Oh, you've been in. Okay,
It's made me an animal.
So we're gonna play a little game that we just came up with. It's called Who is the Latina Rizz goddess on the couch?
Yeah. Who's got the most game?
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
So these are some lines that are pickup lines,
All
and
right.
we want you to say a couple of them to see how it comes out. How you would say it in Preciosa Night.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
I'm gonna do my own line.
Oh.
All right. Are you a piñata? Because I want to hit that.
Oh, that I can't compete.
I'm down for that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I
Have you ever used that on her?
What's that? I mean, she should.
Yeah. It's your turn.
Oh, my turn.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I gotta get close though.
Oh.
Let me get comfy.
Oh
Need to be
my.
closer.
Oh, you're gonna do it to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you hungry?
Oh.
Yes. Well, me too. And you're looking like a snack.
Oh my goodness.
See, the couch is the safe space. I just saw the safe space.
Right now.
I got way too hot.
Okay, my
Hey, Ivana, spit Rizz to me.
Is that a mirror in your pocket? Because I can see myself in your pants.
Oh, okay.
That's from the Night at the Roxbury. Okay.
Did you come up with that?
No, it's from the Night at the Roxbury, my favorite movie. ever.
Everyone's coming up
I
with their
love
own
that
things.
movie.
So,
Yes.
no, I feel like my shit's gonna be mad corny.
Come on.
You got
Okay.
this.
For me to make it up?
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I came up with. All right. Is your middle name Selena? Because you're a legend. Oh, wow. Wow, I bombed. I thought that was so good. Wow, no,
Oh my God.
I bombed. Okay, don't put that on
Lori,
the...
you got me.
Thank you. That was, maybe because I brought it, I did bring it back to me. That was kind of selfish.
Okay, but let me just
read you
for the audience
Okay.
so they can get
You didn't even react. You were so disappointed.
What are you talking about? I couldn't
Wow, okay.
process
It made me think about what my middle name was.
Yeah, it was so
I
much
was
thinking.
delayed.
Okay. All the lines went away. Let me think about something. I got no Rizz.
You got no
Lori, Lori, you got that face though. Give us your Rizz
I got a face card.
Give us the look.
Oh, it's over.
See, maybe you can spit Rizz to me. I'll say one more. I saw one that said, I think it was like, are you an empanada? Because I'm nada without you.
Oh, I love that one.
That was on
That's
the list.
smooth.
You better react. I didn't even what was
the one that works. That shout out to the homie Jean. He's like, todas esas curvas y yo sin frenos.
Oh, she did say my ass was fat today, so yeah, we'll never be using the Selena one at Preciosa Night. Oh my God, imagine I said that on a loudspeaker. Wow, I would have been embarrassed. Yeah.
Close it up.
We should. I'm having so much
I'm
fun.
so sad to close this up because I've honestly learned so
Yeah.
much today.
Oh, you have
And
to have us back.
Yes,
Yeah.
please. Oh, we can go to
I want to
Preciosa
go to
Night.
Preciosa
There we
Night.
go.
And then we'll not be
July
using my
1st,
Rizz.
right?
July 1st is our festival. We have a Halloween and a New Year's Eve party.
Those two are really,
They're
really fun.
legendaries.
Yeah.
I'm
That
gonna be
is-
here for New Year's Eve because I live in Los Angeles.
Yes. And we pass out grapes at midnight to make
Oh,
your...
I need grapes. I don't know
All
if I
the
took some this
wishes.
year, but it's been a pretty. You did anything for New Year's, like to start the year?
Am I sorry?
Did you do any like?
Yeah,
other
we do
traditions?
12 grapes.
Yeah.
12 grapes
But
at
what did-
midnight, yellow underwear, and eat the one wish for every grape.
Yeah, we did that at the
There
club.
was a new tradition that I saw that if you eat the grapes underneath the table,
Yeah, I've
you'll
been
get
under the
engaged
table
or something.
Yeah, but I'm not engaged. Did you do that? Because you guys are engaged. You ladies are engaged.
I was like, I already ate the grapes.
Before we close up, I know this is such a fun conversation. What does your Pinterest board look like?
For the wedding?
Yeah.
For a wedding.
I already started planning mine. No one asked me, but
All I care about is how my friends dress. I made a Pinterest board that
my
was like
goodness.
She sent them the board.
Yeah, I sent everybody the board. And I was like, y'all have to slay at my wedding. That's
did you
all.
give color? Did you give color? Is it like a color theme?
Oh yeah, it's like Mexico City meets the Met Gala. Like that is the vibe.
Oh, this is gonna be really cute.
It's gonna be beautiful. I'm super excited to get there, and it's hard because like I think we were originally supposed to get married in 2024, but then we got notification from our doctor that we have to have kids sooner rather than later, and that was a big shocker for us. So we moved the wedding up a whole year, and we had to tell everyone like, okay, less than 6 months, now we're getting married. Like if you're still in, great. And so that was kind of a bit challenging. So my Pinterest board I try to put not too much pressure on it because I'm like kind of in baby mode right now. I'm super excited to hang with everybody and to see what everybody wears and the food and the dancing. But I'm pretty much halfway in baby mode right now.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, Ivana, what did you get from this conversation?
I've learned so much, and I think the one thing was the safe space. Creating a safe space, no judgment, no defensiveness. It's almost like a really cool game that benefits both of you. You know what I mean? You can say it's like a game, but in reality, it's just getting you closer. And I'm going to use that literally tonight. So thank you.
I think mine is more about boundaries. Sorry, I just naturally clap all the time. I'm a clapper. Sorry, I just had a flashback. I used to be, it doesn't even matter. Anyway, so what I got from this conversation was boundaries and not being afraid to like really be honest when you can't receive anymore. I'm such a, I have a Pisces moon. I am a Gemini, but I just be listening to everybody. I'm like, I'm stressed out and I love you. It's not about you. I'm just saying I'm practicing and I love you. But I need you to, like, it would help me if you at least started the process so I can be there to support. So, like, it's hard, too, because you never want to, like, dismiss anybody or, like, push them away, especially you don't know how people react to, like, everyone grieves so differently, but I want to be able to be there for somebody without taking on everything because I have my own issues. So that's what I learned today.
Boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries.
Thank you guys so much for blessing us with your presence. This was a beautiful episode of Girl, Let Me Tell You. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our show. As always, I'm Ivana Rojas.
I'm Glurelis Mora.
I'm Jay.
I'm Eden.
And this is Girl, Let Me Tell You.